Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 11th installment of the First and Inches Sports Podcast. I am here, Aiden Florsher, with my phenomenal, murderous, and diligent co-host, Michael O'Brien.
Murderous?
Murderous of the bookies.
Oh, yeah. Facts.
Right?
FanDuel will never sponsor me because I'm 32-16 to start the NFL season.
Yeah, they're
And
too
that's
busy
facts.
giving Trent the fucking
They're too. Yo, did you
the
see?
keys.
Off topic. There's a FanDuel boost. I didn't take it because I would never do any of that shit. That's stupid. They want you to take those. Obviously, that's why they're boosting it and putting it on the front page of everything.
Fading the boosts are the greatest things to do.
I think it was Hill, Waddle, and Chase to all have 40-plus yards.
Yeah.
Boosted up to a certain amount.
It was plus
Waddle-
100.
Yeah, Waddle finished with 39.
Yeah, that was I'm not even kidding. One of my friends literally texted earlier in a group chat, like during that day, and he was like,
I
"Yo,
lost a super boost." Yeah.
no, he was like, is this the lock?" And I'm like, "No, absolutely not." First of all, Waddle's banged up. Whatever. We'll go into that game right now anyway, because we'll have to recap that game.
We're recording this on a Friday.
Yeah.
That happened last night, the Thursday night game.
We don't lie. We took the Dolphins.
We were both
on
on the Dolphins. We were going back and forth on this one throughout the day, because you look at that, we're like, how are the Dolphins underdogs? It's probably the Bengals, right? And then we tricked ourselves into thinking the Dolphins were smart.
But then, for some reason, the public was all over the Bengals.
Yeah, I know. I was
made
confused.
no sense to me. So I was like, "Is this a little of a fake sharp bet?" It turned out not to be. We were on the butt end of the stick there.
What are you gonna do?
Proudly.
Yeah,
poor Tua.
First and Inches, we always will admit our losses, man. We're not going to hide losses.
I mean, it's gambling. I don't expect to ever win. I expect to lose every bet I place.
That's the point.
That's gambling.
We can't hide losses.
It's not for making money. One, it's for entertainment. Two,
no, you want to make money. Obviously, you want to make money doing it. That's kind of the point.
But if you sit here and say, "I'm gonna make a revenue,"
using it as a legitimate money making scheme is
that's
stupid.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if you actually sit there and say, "Long term, I'm gonna make money," no, you're gonna make maybe like a few dollars here and there.
Maybe unless you tail the Mikey Sharp's NFL picks throughout the season.
Exactly. But even you didn't place every single one of those in dollars. That'd be stupid of you.
Because I'm not a crackhead. I'm not going to bet all 16 NFL games. Maybe I should. I'd probably be smart. I'm hot.
You're too timid.
That's
you should
true.
be like, "Ma, give me some of my funds that you have locked away. I need to throw a 16-unit slate."
It would be probably closer to, "Ma, I'm throwing a 50-unit slate. Break out the savings. Sell the car." Yeah, get Chevy. Ma, I sold my Chevy Cruze because my picks are so hot. I'm getting 2 of them.
You're like, "Ma, I don't even need my car anymore. I use the bus."
I'm getting the Benz. But yeah, we were both with the Dolphins. 0-1 to start the week. I was 11-5 last week. You were 5-11 last week. Tough week for the boy.
Yeah.
I'm 32 and 16 is the math, and you are 21 and 27. Well, this week really cucked you because you were 500. You were doing fine. This was a rough week for the boy. It happens to the best of us.
You're allowed to have tough weeks in gambling.
I mean, that's why everything in Vegas is a gigantic monstrosity property because they win every
You don't
way.
go into Caesar's Palace and it's some off the fucking highway motel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Borgata doesn't look like a Motel 6. Yeah.
No. They're getting prime funding from almost every American
for a
man.
reason. Yeah, because they win.
They know how to make those lines. All right, moving on
they're pretty
to
good
Sunday.
at it. And that will be a theme of this week, honestly, I feel like. Before we really move on. I feel like
You think Vegas is going to clean up?
Well, I think a lot of these lines are telling as to what Vegas thinks is going to happen in the game, at least. And it seems like a lot of those games, the public is on the other side. So I feel like this is a week Vegas could really mop up if you're not careful, if you're not smart.
You think Vegas are going to have their buttery fingers in all the
Well,
lines?
underdogs are covering very heavily, and I think unders are hitting very good actually right now. So I think Vegas is going to both over 60%, I believe, so far through the year. Not even closer to 65, I believe.
So if you think Vegas is cleaning up, it makes me love one of my following picks that I'll come back to later.
let's get right into it. There's a London game this week.
The boys are
9:30
traveling around the
a.m.
pond.
Yeah. They're out on the pond. R.I.P. the Queen. Bloody hell.
Dude, honestly, this gives me so much more confidence in my pick that the Queen died. It's insane.
Okay.
I'm taking
Who's your pick in
Vikings
this one?
-3.
Vikings. Yeah, let's just talk about the game a little bit before
In
we give out picks.
but like in historical fashion,
Yeah.
aren't the Vikings always taking over England or something? I don't even know.
I don't know if the Vikings have a history in England. I'm not too well read on the history of the Vikings.
Dude,
I like I'm more read up on American history.
You didn't take the Viking culture of the 25th century?
No, did you? That was an elective you took? Nice. Good for you.
Yeah. So what I learned in that class was
then you
that
said the 25th century didn't even happen yet. So you're talking about what's going to happen with Vikings in 500 years in that
Dude,
lecture?
listen. What I learned from that class was London favorites are 18-3-1 straight up and 15-7 against the spread without the Jaguars involved in any of these games. As you know, the Jaguars had a huge contract in London that they had to play through, like 2020, I think it was.
They have like a home game there every year, yeah.
Yeah, it was up until 2020. I don't know if they re-upped it or whatever, but they sucked back then. So
maybe not this year. We'll talk about it.
They were getting a lot of the losses, so it would have skewed the stats a little bit. So I took them out. 18-3-1 straight up favorites without the Jaguars.
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty crazy, actually. What do they get to spread?
15-7. That's a little closer, but it's still double.
It's good. That's a good 67% clip, even closer to 70 probably with that math. It's a good trend.
I think that trend continues tomorrow. We do a little trending.
So you got the Vikings -3 here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fade you on this one. I'm going to take the Saints +3 on this one.
Okay.
See, like we were talking about right off the gate with Vegas, I think this is an example of one of those games, right?
It's a freaky game.
Right? It's a weird line. You have Winston out, doubtful, not out yet, but doubtful. He's not playing. Michael Thomas has already been ruled out. So their two best offensive players, or two of their most key offensive players, Kamara's still banged up. This line hasn't moved at all. It's still stayed at Vikings -3, and the money is all over the Vikings. So Vegas does not touch this game, even though there's been injury news on the Saints side coming out all week. Stayed at 3, chilling. Vikings getting destroyed. Take the Saints +3 here. Saints have a good defense. This could be a game where Kamara gets going, I feel like. He's going to have to be the focal point of the offense to some extent with Andy Dalton. And I also think you could make the argument that with the way Winston's been playing so far this year, to start the season at least, Andy Dalton may be better for their offense right now. Because Winston's been playing a lot of hero ball, just like chucking shit into double-covered deep passes. So I think the Saints are going to kind of bounce back after that tough one last week. Dalton is one of the better backups in the league. Give me the Saints +3. I'm not a big Vikings guy here, especially not at home.
I think this is a cost of doing business for Vegas. I think they don't really care about this London game. They're going to let everyone take out the Vikings and just...
Yeah,
it's
but don't you think
9:30
they
in the
would?
morning.
Dude, but it's the only game
it's
on.
9,
and you
but
know
it's 9
people like
a.m.
us are
for
going to be
us.
up watching it. Yeah.
But the rest of the
9:30.
country, you have to think. 4 a.m.?
6:30 on the West. Not 6:30 on the West Coast.
6:30?
Yeah, the West Coast is 3 hours.
That's ridiculous.
And then what is it? Mountain Time Zone. No, the Central Time Zone, which is like the Midwest, like Chicago is in that. That's an hour behind us, so it would be 8:30. There's Mountain, and that would be 2 hours.
I'm telling you, this game will probably be the
Mountain,
least bet on handle.
No, because it's the only
Promise
game.
you.
No.
I
It's
promise
the only
you.
game on. Whenever there's one game on, it always gets a lot of bets.
But the timing is crucial.
But it's also two teams that could be good in the NFC. It's just going to get a lot of bet. I think you're bugging on that.
I don't think so. Bro.
I think you're bugging on that.
I kind of.
Florsch.
Can we see like when everything comes out? Like I want to see.
Yeah, we'll
handle
track
on all
this.
the games.
Yeah, we'll talk
track
about
this.
that on the episode after this. But give me the Saints there. That's a weird one. I think that's a little bit of a rat line from those hooligans over at the sports books.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that delicious cheese out of the rat trap. I think go for the Vikings.
Let's move on to the 1 p.m.s. Because this is a heavy 1 p.m. slate. We got 9 1 p.m. games and only 3 4 p.m. games, which is weird scheduling. Why don't you move one or two of those 1 p.m. games to 4?
Please.
But what are you going to do? What's the first game on our slate, Mr. Florsher? Lead us into it.
Bills -3, taking a little road trip to Baltimore, playing the Ravens. I'm taking the Bills here. They're my train. Nothing more else to say. I know it's a tough matchup. I don't think trends or anything is going to really come into play here. It's going to come down to probably who has the ball last.
That's a fair. Yeah, this is going to be a very exciting game. This is the best game of the week on paper. I think that's safe to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Bills 2-1, Ravens 2-1, 2 contenders for the MVP, 2 of the best teams in the AFC potentially. This could be an AFC title game.
This is must-watch television right here.
Yeah, this is probably the best game on the slate. I'm going to take the Ravens +3, and even though you said you don't think trends are going to really play a role in this one, I got some trends for you.
I mean, I always love hearing the trends. I'll never decline a trend.
Since John Harbaugh has been the Ravens head coach, 2008, they are 10-6-1 against the spread as home underdogs. And when Lamar Jackson has been a home underdog 3 times in his career, 3-0 against the spread in those games. And I believe he is also 3-0 straight up in those games. I don't have that, but he's definitely 3-0.
It's a very small sample size, man.
Yeah, because why would you ever have Lamar Jackson as a home underdog? That's why it's a small sample size.
But this all right.
Lamar's played like 50-something
man.
games in his career. Lamar's career isn't a small sample size at this point.
Take a cheese.
It's not cheese. You're taking the cheese with the Bills. Like, yo, the Bills are sick. Lamar's going to throw 5 touchdowns.
And then their defense is going to let up like maybe
Probably
50 points.
70 points. You might not be wrong, but give me the Ravens. Let's flock.
But you think that the Ravens could stop Josh Allen on like one drive at the end? If there's 2 minutes left, Josh Allen has the ball. It's tie game. How fucked are they?
Probably not great, but they get +3. They lose by a field goal. It's a push. That's why you always take the points, baby.
But they're going to score a touchdown.
You don't know that. Josh Allen can throw a pick.
He could. All right. Let's not harp too long on that game because later in this podcast we have games with a little more lengthy numbers that we want to get to. For sure. This next game is the Commies at Cowgirls. They're going to, like you always say, redistribute the wealth in Dallas.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Commies to redistribute the wealth with +3 points this week. Mm-hmm. I think Cooper Rush is due for an L. I feel I have no confidence in this though. I like to take
suck.
I like to take dogs in division games usually, so I don't know. This is a weird one. This is a weird game to me. I can see the Cowboys rolling them. I'm going to take the Commies, though.
Yeah, I'm taking the Commies, too, just because I have a very bad taste in my mouth from last week of the Cowgirls.
Ugh. Yeah, that could be an interesting game, though, man. Because what if Cooper Rush is 3-0? You think Jerry Jones has enough dementia to be like he's better than Dak Prescott?
I mean, he loves a controversy. Like, always.
I know he's one of a kind.
So it wouldn't surprise me at all if he was like,
"What if Cooper Rush throws for 4 touchdowns? He's like, him and Dak are going to have to compete for the starter job, and he's going to go drink 17 whiskey sours, delete half his emails."
Yeah, I think he has to drink that much alcohol to sterilize his body because it's like decaying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he's like 70
so he doesn't
years past dead.
Oh yeah, Jerry, give me the Commies there. Next game, another game we both agree on in the 1 o'clock slate. We're not going to agree on a lot of games in this slate. Just going to tell you now, folks. There's going to be a lot of disagreement, a lot of numbers from both sides in this episode. You're going to be getting information thrown at you left and right with this one.
Yeah, you might want to get out a notepad.
Yeah.
And dot some shit down.
Whatever.
This is useful
laptop. Open up a Google Drive doc. I don't know. Write it down on a napkin. Something like that.
Yep.
Keep track.
Pull out some stimulant of any sort, caffeine, nicotine. Get going. Helps you study.
Yeah.
For the weekend.
Exactly. Titans going into Indianapolis, playing the Colts. Colts are 3.5-point favorites here. We are both on the side of the Indianapolis Colts. Just like the last game, we are both on the same side with absolutely no confidence.
Yeah. These few games, besides that Bills game, I really don't care for too much. Like, I don't see a clear side on either side, and I don't see an obvious edge.
Yeah, these
So
are
it's
some of
just
the
like-
games in terms of like spread that I'm confused on. I feel
Me
like.
too. There's not much that I could even say here besides
Yeah.
that both teams are underperforming. This could either be like a 3-7 game or a 45-32 game. Like, it could be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This game is going to be 20 combined points or 70 combined points, no in between. This is an interesting one, man. The Colts bounced back last week pretty heavily against the Chiefs. Titans snuck out a win. They almost blew it at the end, too. The Raiders just didn't get that 2-point conversion, so they couldn't tie it. Titans snuck it out by 2. I just think the Colts are probably the better team at this point. I'll take the -3.5 at home.
Yeah, I'll take the 2 with little to no confidence, but with more
Titans always
confidence
play
than
them
I would
well,
with
which
that
kind of
Titans.
sketches me, but I don't think the Titans don't look good right now. Their receiver room's a mess without A.J. Brown. They need Burks to start. They just need to use Burks more. I get they're easing him in because he was a raw prospect, but you need to try and utilize that size and speed combo to some extent to help your offense.
He's raw. He's good.
He is raw, but he is good. You just get him the ball in space, man. Give him a slant or a bubble screen. Like, you got to get that guy the ball somehow. You know what I mean?
He's not going to get better if he's just running like routes and not getting the ball. So it doesn't hurt
he can
that.
practice routes in practice, and you got to put him in the game, obviously. But that's a different conversation. I'm going to take the Colts there easily. Like I said, better team at home. Titans aren't impressing me at all this season.
Yeah.
I think the Colts take that game by a touchdown, honestly.
Let's
move on to the next one.
Wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't honestly be surprised if the Titans somehow pull that off. So
Yeah, that game could. I think I'll lean the Colts there.
that's my most likely tie of the week.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. That is probably the most likely game that could tie this week,
Right.
honestly. Yeah. That game has tie written all over it. Yeah, like
I
couple
might have
missed
to-
field goals,
I might have
couple
to-
missed field goals in overtime or something. Something crazy. Let's hit this
So-
next game. Another interesting one to me. Another interesting one. Kind of a weird game on paper. Cleveland Browns going into Atlanta to play the Falcons. Browns are 1.5-point favorites on the road. What side are you on?
I'm going with the Browns here. I'll give you my little reason why
Give me the spiel.
and the keys to victory for the Browns if they're going to cover the spread.
Give me the keys to victory, Coach.
So, Brissett as a quarterback, right? He needs a clean pocket, and I think that's going to happen this weekend. The Falcons are a bottom 5 team in pressure. They've only pressured QBs on 17% of passing attempts this year.
It's
And
not
last
that great.
year, it's not great. And to show the effect of a pressure and not, Brissett has a pressure completion percentage of 50% when he is getting blitzed or whatever, and there's someone near him. But when he has a clean pocket, he's completing balls at 67%.
That's a
So
huge
it's
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lot cleaner, and he'll make a lot less mistakes, which
Yeah.
I think is good in a 2-point, 1.5
the
point
quarterback
spread.
that plays like him, you got to pressure him because he's a game manager. He wants to get the ball off, give it to the guy. He's not going to try and do anything too crazy. If you give him a clean pocket, he's going to find the guy who's open underneath and just dump it. He's not going to do anything stupid. So you got to get to that guy, and the Falcons have struggled with that, even as the numbers show.
And another interesting trend for this game is the Browns have scored on 48.4% of their drives this season. Second best in the NFL. That's really interesting to me. Brissett is doing a very great job of managing this team. He's putting the ball where it needs to be. He's handing the ball off when it needs to. Their running game is playing amazing. And the Falcons' defense is nothing to go home about, The Falcons' defense has allowed scores on 50% of opponents' drives this season.
That's very
horrible.
ugly. Yeah, it's gross.
That's horrible. And if you put that up against the 48% the Browns score, that means that they're going to score almost every other possession.
Yeah.
How can the Falcons keep up with that?
See, okay. I like that take. You got some good numbies there. I'm going to fade you, though.
Okay.
I'm
I
going to
know.
take the Falcons
This is a game of
plus
fades.
1.5 here, right? Yeah, we're starting to fade each other a little bit. See, everything points to the Browns in this game, right? I would assume the Browns would be favored by more than 1.5. But obviously road game plays into that. I mean, the Falcons, they have the offense. I mean, they've scored a good amount this year. They've scored like 26, 28, 28, or 30 last week.
Yep.
Like, they do score.
Yep.
Like, their offense is good. London and Pitts is going to be a problem for the Browns secondary. They're deep. The Browns secondary hasn't looked too hot this year. Really hasn't. London's been a menace. Pitts is a menace. Patterson could be in play out of the backfield as a receiver. I think it's a good matchup for the Falcons' offense. So I think that kind of plays into it. I think the Falcons put up points in this one. I think they'll be close at home. You could see a classic Falcons choke. Falcons up like 14 points and they lose by 2 or 1 or something like that. They lose on a 2-point conversion. We cover. I just think this is a weird game. Like I said in the intro, this is a week I feel like there's a lot of rat lines from Vegas. This is one of them. Browns should be favored by more than 1.5 here. Just looking at the numbers. Falcons giving up points on half their drives. Browns are scoring on half of their drives. Everything points to the Browns here. Yet they're only favored by 1.5.
Yeah, and it is pretty weird. I'm kind of not thinking about Vegas this week because I thought about it way too much last week. I'm going to try a different approach and go with the trends.
That's fair. I respect it. I mix and match. I feel like this is a weird line from them, though. I feel like this has Falcons written all over it.
Low key, though,
or I should say, they want you to bet. They want people to bet the Browns here.
I have a little YGB side bet for this game.
Oh, hit me with the YGB side bet. A little sprinkle.
Browns seem to be a very good first quarter team. Browns have gone 3 and out a total of 4 times in the fourth quarter since the 2021 season. Best in NFL.
Yeah, because they run the ball very well.
So, if you just take whatever it is, Browns first quarter. That'll be my YGB bet. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to say that's my bet.
I like that. Let's move on to the next game in this early slate. The Jets going into Pittsburgh, playing the Steelers. Steelers are 3.5-point favorites here. Zach Wilson's coming back. Second-year debut. Who we taking, Mr. Florsch?
I think the Steelers being favorites to any team in the league is blasphemous. I'm taking the Jets just because of that reason.
I agree. Jets, Jets.
But I'm not taking that, excitingly. I'll probably regret it. Yeah, that's how I literally feel about this game. Just a big shit.
Exactly.
A Taco Bell shit.
Yeah, you just ate 2 cheesy gordita crunches and a Baja Blast.
And drank 6 beers. Yeah.
More like 13, but yeah.
If I drank 6 beers, it would be probably the equivalent of you drinking 13.
Yeah, I might, yeah.
My tolerance is very low.
Yeah, I got some pounds on you, plus years of alcoholism in my Irish genetics. I definitely got you beat on that one.
Yeah, I'm not much of a sipper.
Yeah, I really don't have any numbers for this one other than, this isn't a number, just a statement. Steelers suck. No Watt, no Minka. This is just the ultimate Steelers fade here.
Yeah, I think as
Trubisky's terrible.
As first and inches squad, we said as long as J.J. Watt's not on the field, or T.J. Watt, yeah, you know what I'm saying. T.J. Watt is not on the field. We're fading the Steelers till he comes back.
Even though you said the Steelers division was the ultimate value in our futures episode.
Was he? But he was on the team.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
He's not.
Right. He's a game changer. Complete.
He's literally LT.
Yeah, he's gross. I don't know. He fell 30th overall in his draft too, which makes absolutely no sense.
He's probably one of the best players.
A lot of times those look like steals because those guys go to teams that actually know what they're doing and know how to develop players and know how to get the best out of their players. So sometimes you're like, how did that guy fall? It's like he was a similar prospect to guys that went above him, but he just went to a team that isn't stupid.
Yeah,
that's why he's good.
He had Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hit the next one. This 1 p.m.
What is it? Jaguars at Sheegs.
Yeah. Playing the Sheagles.
Eagles -6.5. I'm going to go with the Jags +7 here. I think that in order for the Jags to be close or even potentially win this game, they have to bend and not break in the end zone. When the opposing team that the Jaguars play convert more than 55% of its red zone chances into touchdowns, they are 0-10. So even if they could get that 3rd and 4, if they could hold that 3rd and 4 to a 4th and 4, it will make that much of a difference from this being a blowout to maybe a 4 or 5 point game, because the Jaguars' defense is top notch. They haven't allowed a rushing touchdown this year. They haven't allowed a successful rush play in the first quarter of the season, which means that on first down, you get 50% of the needed yardage to the chains, and then on second down, it's like 70%. So they haven't let up one successful play in the first quarter of the season.
That's insane. That's a crazy statistic.
It's unreal, dude. And if you spread that out over a half, which I think is a little bit better, the Jaguars defense has allowed only 14% of successful rushing plays in the first half, which is the best in the NFL. And if you compare this to league average, it is 43%. They are miles and miles better than the league average in run defense.
Wow. And they're playing the Eagles, so the key to stopping the Eagles is clearly stopping the run game. Their entire offense runs through the run game.
Yes. So give me +7 with that.
6.5 right now. You could buy it to 7 though.
I'm taking it at 7.
Yeah. Always buy the half there to 7. I feel like you kind of have to.
Because I can see them losing by a touchdown.
I'm going to take the Eagles -6.5 here. I like those numbers. I think the Jaguars will be a good team this year, especially in the division they play. I just think the Eagles can definitely win this game by a touchdown at home. I see no reason why they don't. They're at home, right? Yes. It is in Philly. Yeah, I think the Eagles win this game by a touchdown, man. They've looked really good. Their run game is really good, and even though the Jaguars' run defense has been very good, they still have Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. I just think the Eagles can take this game by a touchdown, man.
I mean, their passing defense is good, too.
Especially after the Jaguars rolled through the Chargers last week. Everyone's kind of on the Jaguars train a little bit now. Everyone's kind of see that they might be decent. So I'm going to take the Eagles here. Eagles look legit, man. As much as it pains me to fucking say. They're legit. I'll take the Eagles by 6.5.
I mean, yeah, obviously they're legit. They're like one of the best teams in football. I just think that this is like a better defensive matchup. I think the Jaguars have a better defense than the Eagles right now, and I think that in stats right now, yes.
It's Eagles secondary.
Maybe not personnel.
Eagles secondary, Slate looks really good, man.
But the Jaguars' defense has already 6 interceptions, which is tied for the most in the league.
Jaguars do have a very legitimate defense. I'm not going to try to take that away from them.
And I think their offenses are similar than you think.
All right. I don't hate that pick, man. I went back and forth on this one because I do like the Jaguars a lot. But I think the Eagles can take this game by a touchdown.
It'll be fun.
We'll take this game by a touchdown.
That's all that I know. This game will be good.
Yeah. Let's hit the next game. The Seattle Seahawks going into Ford Field in the Motor City, playing the Lions, who are 3.5-point home favorites. Who are you taking in this one?
I'm going to take the Lions probably. Even with Swift and Amon-Ra out, I could see that affecting maybe the line in the future if they get ruled out, and I would
They are both ruled out, I believe. It might change. I don't think it's changed yet. Let me see.
If it hasn't changed, then I don't know what to think of it. I still kind of like the Lions 3.5 because the Lions running backs have averaged 142 rushing yards per game this season. Jamal Williams is
It opened at 6 and went to 3.5, so it already went down, I guess.
Okay.
It's at 3.5.
I think that Jamal Williams is good enough to run all over the Seahawks' abysmal rushing defense. They have allowed an average of 157 rushing yards a game per season, which is the second worst in the NFL. And this is a horrible stat about the Seattle's defense in the fourth quarter. So if the Lions could keep it close, I think that this will be in the Lions' play. The Seahawks defense allowed a successful plays on 100% of passing attempts in the fourth quarter in Week 3.
That's horrifying, considering my pick on
They
this
were
one.
like Swiss cheese in the fourth quarter. 100%.
I'm going to take the Seahawks plus 3.5, man. I think no Swift and Amon-Ra is just a death blow for the fucking
That's so
Lions,
reasonable,
man.
though.
Yeah. I'll take the Seahawks plus 3.5 there. Even if they lose, I think it's within a field goal. Swift and Amon-Ra is their entire fucking offense. They're going to have to feed targets to Chark and T.J. Hawkinson. Give me the Seahawks with 3 points. 3.5 points, I should say. Geno Smith looks serviceable as fuck, too, so far this year. He's played well, man. He's played pretty well.
It hasn't
Them
surprised
losing that
me.
game wasn't his fault last week.
We did
threw like
say
3 touchdowns.
We did say in our predictions that Geno Smith would be serviceable.
And it looks like that's the case. Give me the Seahawks, baby. Give me Geno.
I like that pick, honestly.
Give me
I would
Geno.
if I had to actually throw money on this, I'd probably take Seahawks. But
I'm going to come.
Is that for the next game?
Yeah. This is what this next game probably going to be like.
All right, Chicago Bears at Giants. Giants questionably favored by 3.
Not questionably favored.
I don't know. I don't know if the
Obviously,
Giants
both
should
of
be
them Giants
favored.
here. We don't need to give you any trends or numbers or any. We don't need
No.
to say anything for you guys to know. It's the Giants all fucking day.
Just take them without hesitation here.
Yeah, take the money line if anything, because this is probably a game that's close because both these teams kind of are stinky, but the Giants are less stinky. They'll have more than 8 completions, and the Bears might not.
We'll be the worst 3-1 team of all time.
No David Montgomery, even though I think Herbert's a very good back. Also, it's big. I just think the Giants are the better team here. I'd take them with 3 points, honestly, pretty comfortably.
Yeah, me too. Let's move on to a more interesting game to talk about, I think.
Yeah,
That is
the official first and inches play of the week.
Trademarked. The first and inches LLC play of the week. Chargers -6 at Texans. We are taking Texans +6 as a unit.
All day.
We have
Heavy.
a multitude of trends and stats to back this up. We think this is a jelly layup.
Yeah, our other first and inches play was the Raiders when they blew the 16-point lead to the Cardinals. So just keep that in the back of your mind. We may be due, but also the other one we did, not good news.
We're not saying the L word here. You know what I'm saying?
We cannot say the L word.
This is
not
our LLC.
Yeah.
That's what you know what I'm saying. So I'll give you a little stat. Houston Texans are 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games against AFC opponents. As we all know, Chargers are residents of the AFC.
opponent.
Yeah, so I mean
They are in the American Football Conference West.
Yep. That means that they are in the West, right? So, and listen, I think the whole entire world and their brothers, sisters, cousins, grandfather, goldfish will be on Chargers -6 this upcoming Sunday. It looks like a cheesy bet for the masses. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I got some numbers here that back the Texans on this one, too. If we look back to 2018, interconference games in the AFC, home underdogs are 87, 67, and 2 to 56% clip. And if we shorten that trend a little bit, since 2020, interconference games in the AFC, home dogs of 6 or more points are 26 and 14 against the spread. It's a 65% clip. So just those two trends say Texans. I think this is a lot of guys banged up for the Chargers right now. A lot of guys coming off injury. No Keenan Allen. Herbert still has that rib injury. So I think you take the Texans +6. The Texans are also one of the only teams in the NFL, 3 teams, that have not lost against the spread so far this year.
You bet Mills, you get the Bills.
You got to when you have weird teams that are covering, I feel like you got to kind of ride it until the wheels fall off. So, give me the Texans +6, definitely.
And the Chargers currently have no pass rush. They've pressured opposing quarterbacks in just 17% of passing plays this season.
That's not great considering you have
horrible.
Bosa and Mack on the edge. It's not great.
Yeah, like that must be a coaching issue. in my opinion.
It has to be. I think Staley's going to – if they don't make the playoffs this year, Staley's going to get canned 100%. They're going to clear that entire coaching staff if they don't win anything this year. How do you have that roster in 2 years and miss the playoffs both times?
It makes no sense.
Yeah, no, you can't. You got to get fired if that's the case.
And even Eckler, he looks pretty, like...
Sonny Michel has more yards of carry than he does right now, and he hasn't scored yet. I've always feel like the Chargers' usage of Eckler's weird. They always like subbing in other backs. He never gets like that workhorse carry workload. He's always been carried in fantasy by receiving and touchdowns.
Yeah.
So if that goes away this year, then
I've never been an Eckler fan.
I never have either. I always fade him in fantasy. So that's the first and inches LLC play and the last game of the 1 o'clock slate. Let's move on to the 3, 4 o'clock games that we got here. This is some more Vegas fuckery, I think. I think we're getting some more Vegas fuckery here.
I don't even know.
Here's what Vegas is trying to do to the public on this game.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Yeah, they are.
Arizona Cardinals going into Carolina, playing the Panthers. The Panthers are 1-point favorites here at home. It has to be the Panthers, right? This is Vegas telling us what's going to happen, I think. And
I'm taking the Cardinals. I don't care.
All right, you're falling right into it.
I'm not even... There's no trap here, bro. I'm fading Baker Mayfield every week on this show.
Which is also a reasonable thing to say. I can't really sit here and argue that too heavily. Dude, but I think this is a weird fucking... This week is rat line after rat line after rat line, bro. Look at some of these numbers on some of these games, man. Tell me I'm wrong.
There's 3 teams every week that I know the direction I'm going. I'm taking the Giants every week on the show. I'm taking the Bills every week on the show. And I'm fading the Panthers every week on the show.
That's reasonable.
And the Steelers, I'm fading. So that's 4 games already.
I am a take the Giants and fade the Steelers every week type of guy for sure. Until T.J. Watt comes back.
Yeah.
And I'll ride
T.J.
the
Watt
Dolphins.
clause.
I'll take the Dolphins till the wheels fall off, even with Teddy B. I'll be taking the Dolphins with Teddy B all day, honestly.
He looked good
on this program. So what are we thinking? You're on the Cardinals. You're just fading Baker. That's it. That's your only logic.
I don't care. I'm never betting on Baker in my life.
See, really, I don't think I would ever take this in real life. This is so weird. We're obviously going to talk about every game and have a pick on this show for the show. This is a weird fucking game, man. There are a lot of trends that point towards the Cardinals. Interesting one I found that points towards the Cardinals is short NFC interconference games with favorites of 2 points or less. Those favorites of 2 points or less are 7-11 against the spread since 2020. So that's weird.
That's all you need to tell me.
That's fair.
And Baker.
I'm gonna fade that trend on this pick though. There's no reason the Panthers should be favorites.
No, I know.
Vegas is telling us something. They're telling us the Panthers are favorites. And everyone's going to take the Cardinals, bro. Dude, everyone's going to tease the Cardinals to +7 or something, and they're going to lose on a fumble 6 or some bullshit.
It's going to be weird.
This game has bullshit written all over it, man. Give me the Panthers.
Kingsbury's going to probably write up some bullshit.
Yeah, plus I'm not a Cardinals guy, man. The Panthers have a good defense. You don't think the Cardinals offense could struggle?
No,
They've
this is going to be
every week except the last 8 minutes of that Raiders game. And they won on a fumble 6. I'm a Cardinals believer.
I'm in total agree with you. This is a Vegas absolute book. Like they're giving us the scripture of the game.
They're giving us a script. But no one's going to listen. And no one's going to listen.
I'm not listening because I hate Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield must make Vegas a lot of money for people like me.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield is 14-27 in his career against the spread, which is fucking hysterical. Pretty funny.
Panthers -1. That's an easy line.
It's not an easy line. No one's going to take the Panthers. Everyone knows they stink. Everyone's going to take the Cardinals because of Kyler Murray.
I'm taking the Cardinals, man.
Okay. Let's move on to the next game. I would never touch this with a 10-foot pole with any actual dollars.
Yeah, me neither.
It's a weird one. The next one we are both in agreement on. New England Patriots going into Green Bay, playing the Packers. Packers are 9.5-point favorites here. Both easily on the Packers here. This might move a little bit because Mac Jones got ruled out about an hour ago. We're recording this Friday night, like we said before. So I can see this shifting a little bit, but I still think this is the ultimate Packers blowout. I think they just roll through the Patriots in this one, honestly.
No question. I'm totally agree with you. I'm taking Packers probably up to 10.5.
Yeah, I'd feel comfortable with that too, honestly.
The Packers are against the NFL. Wait, I'm totally reading the wrong thing right now.
Take a breather.
Yeah, let me take a breather. The Packers are undefeated, 12-0, when intercepting at least one pass since the 2021 season. I'm thinking an interception's probably going to happen with Brian Hoyer playing, or an injured Mac Jones. I think that's pretty likely. I bet you that betting an interception is like more likely than not at this point. So if you take that, Packers are a guarantee.
Yeah, I agree. I got another trend that really points towards the Packers here. Since the start of last season, when the Packers have been favored by 9 points or more, they are 4-1 against the spread. I expect that to continue this week. I think this is just such a mismatch all around, especially with no Mac. It's really going to fuck them over. They have no chance at all.
No chance. This is going to be a disgusting game. It's not going to be fun to watch at all. It's going to be a classic Aaron Rodgers blowout. He's not going to have fun during it. He's probably going to be bored.
Yeah. The Patriots also committed 4 turnovers last week, most in the NFL. Why wouldn't that continue against a good defense and with Brian Hoyer? I don't see why that wouldn't be the case. And the last game here on 4 o'clock slate, a game of 2 teams that we have both absolutely slandered on this show on multiple occasions.
But we're both going to take a different side on this case.
Yeah, we're both going to ride with one of these teams.
The Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, OB. Let me start this off by saying, if this is the week of Vegas, I think the Raiders bounce back, man. I think
you might be right, brother.
I think the Raiders, if they win, Vegas wins a lot of money for some reason. It's just like my imagination. Why wouldn't they?
Because people probably go out after and spend it. That's true.
A shit ton of money and gamble.
Yeah.
They need a win.
That's facts.
Dude, I think this is a clear revenge game for McDaniels. The Broncos are nothing to be scared of. The keys to victory here for the Broncos need to hold on to the ball. They're winless when committing 2 or more turnovers since 2021. I mean, usually when you commit 2 or more turnovers, you lose, but they just seem to not have that offensive firepower to really make up for that at this point. It's not like Mahomes. If he throws 2 interceptions, he'll have 4 touchdowns. Mr. Unlimited is looking like Mr. Limited, like 1 through 2.
Danger Witch. You think he eats a couple too many Danger Witches before this one? Wow,
oh my God, spicy.
Dude, Russell Wilson. How is that dude banging out Sierra? Please tell me how that works.
Because he has 30 different personalities. He probably goes home and acts like a legend. You know what I'm saying? And I think another key to victory for the Raiders here is that the Broncos are winless when the opposing team rushes more than 30 times since 2021. Hold on to the ball, keep possession, run the game out. If Carr doesn't play like he has sepsis, they win this game.
I'm going to fade the shit out of the Raiders. Give me the Broncos. I have no numbers here. I just don't understand how they're... I'm not going to give any trends here. I don't get how they're dogs in this game, man. Makes no sense to me. The Raiders look horrible. McDaniels is the worst coach in the fucking league. Hackett's probably second or first. That's going to be decided based on this game, honestly, probably.
This is the battle of who's the worst NFL coach.
Yeah, this will be who fucks up the least in game management and play calling.
Who's getting fired quicker.
Yeah, I'll just take the Broncos defense over the Raiders defense all day. I'll also take the Broncos run game over the Raiders run game all day. The Broncos can slow this game down to any extent. I feel like it's their game to lose, so I'll take the Broncos here.
Fair enough. They just better hope that the Raiders don't run the ball more than 30 times.
Yeah, but they probably won't. They'll probably be throwing at Devontae Adams, 17 targets, 6 catches.
Okay, I respect your opinion there.
That's the end of the 4 o'clock slate. Let's hit the night games. The 2 prime-timers that we haven't watched yet. Sunday Night Football, NBC. A little Carrie Underwood going.
Ooh. You know...
Waiting all day for Sunday night. Oh, so back Something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I kind of killed that, right?
Oh, dude, they should make that the intro.
I'm gonna come.
Let's
we
hit
do a
this
little
game.
trending.
We do a little trending. Chiefs in Tampa Bay playing the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are favored by a half point right now. This line's been going all over the place. It's been going like 1.5. Oh, who's favored by a point? We don't know. So in this one, we're just going to take money lines. I like the Bucs here on the money line. I think their defense provides an advantage. We saw it in the Super Bowl when they played each other. Bucs defense clamped Mahomes. No Tyreek Hill is huge. I could the Bucs offense needs to get clicking at some point, right? Even though they look kind of gross, and you've even been on this show openly trashing Tom Brady and the Buccaneers offense.
Openly.
Yeah,
But
I think they have to get going at some point, man. Brady always starts a little bit slow.
No, but I think this is a clear Vegas line as well. No
Like
chance.
you said in the beginning of the show, I feel like this week's a lot of weird, ratty lines, man.
And I'm definitely going to go with the Bucs here. And I think we start to see that the Mahomes' need for a wide receiver is going to come. He's going to be very thirsty for that number one wide receiver after this week because he's going to be very limited for where he could throw to. Some trends I have is Tampa Bay is 6-1 against the spread in its last 7 games against AFC West.
It's pretty cool.
Who's in the AFC West?
The Chiefs.
And Tampa Bay is 11-3 straight up in its last 14 home games. And looking back to this last matchup was I'm pretty sure, I don't know when this was. But
They played last year, if I'm not mistaken, right? Let me see.
It was either this or the Super Bowl, right?
I feel like they played after the Super Bowl. I think they played last year.
To start the year, right? Were they like the first game? Whatever, but in their last matchup, Mahomes was pressured.
Nope, the last time they played was the Super Bowl. You were correct.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mahomes was pressured on 22% of his dropbacks in that outing, while also being blitzed twice, hurried 4 times, and even sacked once.
Yeah, they were all over him in that one.
Expect players like Devin White, Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea to get to Mahomes early in this game. I think that he's going to have trouble. It's going to be a lot like that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you on this one. I like the Buccaneers defense a lot. They've been playing well this year. I just think the Bucs are kind of might be the better team as a whole roster right now. I think the Chiefs will be in the mix at the end of the year, obviously, but
Just because Mahomes.
I'll take obviously he's the best, but I'll take the Bucs in this one. And let's hit the last game on this interesting Week 4 NFL slate. The San Francisco 49ers are at home playing the Rams. Niners are favored by 1.5 points here.
That is a wrap.
Who are you taking? Yeah, it's the Niners all day, baby. Niners minus 1.5.
I'm easily
Kyle
taking the Rams
Shanahan.
here.
Let me give you some numbers that might change your mind.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't realize you were about to spiel on us.
Let me give you a little spiel on the Niners here.
Hit it.
You know I like the Niners.
Yep.
You know I was a Trey Lance guy, sadly.
We all were.
But Kyle Shanahan in his career against Sean McVay is 7-4 against him, and was on a 6-game winning streak against him until the NFC Championship game last year. So I think it's like we've been saying all episode. I think this is going to be a trend this week, man. I think Vegas is just telling us what's going to happen in some of these games. No one's going to listen. Everyone's going to take the Rams with the points, tease it, everything. Give me the Niners 1.5. They turn this into a run game, defense game. I'll take the Niners all day, honestly.
All right. I mean, I can't argue against any of those.
Rams are also allowing 370 yards of total offense a game so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams. I just think the way that they win this game is keeping it a low-scoring game. If Rams are winless when allowing 27 or more points since 2021,
it's not great.
I mean, yeah. I mean, usually
how many times has it happened though? 0-6.
6.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think that they're going to have to air the frick out of the ball.
Fuck. Say it.
I don't. I mean, I just didn't. Whatever. But the Rams are 6-1.
Fuck.
The Rams are 6-1 when passing for more than 300 yards since the 2021 season. Just air that shit out to Cup, A-Rob, and Skowronek.
Yeah,
Cup
let it
2.0. And this is a good stat for this. The Rams have thrown the ball 56.5% of the time in the red zone since 2021. Fourth highest in the NFL.
That's actually crazy.
And the Niners have allowed a completion rate of 65% when defending the red zone since the 2021 season. So that's a good little trend.
That's some good touchdown bet. That's a good prop for touchdown.
For props, yeah. Take Skoranek anytime.
Ooh, that's juicy.
Should that be our little buddy prop bet?
That's our two official First and Inches LLC bets. We have Texans +6. Ben Skoranek anytime touchdown.
And then I have a half parlay play on
parlay. The first and inches. That's the First and Inches parlay this week. Lock it in. I'm so serious.
I know that's an insane parlay. I love it.
That's a sick parlay. And Giants money line.
What did I say was my YGB first quarter play again?
Browns,
yes. Throw that in there too.
Browns first quarter. Interesting. So that's the entire slate, folks. All 15 games that haven't been played yet.
Gorgeous.
Listen to our picks, fade our picks, do whatever you want to do. We're just
enjoy our content.
We're giving you some numbers. We're giving you both sides. Yeah, we're just having fun. So thank you guys for listening. We appreciate the support. Please like and subscribe. Hit all those buttons. Do all that shit. Please like, subscribe.
We will see you on the recap.
Comment. Whatever you want to do. Send it to your grandma. Send it to your mother.
Post it on Facebook.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Post it on Insta, Twitter.
Yeah. I don't know. MySpace. All that stuff. But thank you guys for listening. Maybe not. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you. And until next episode, peace out.
Deuces.